Sushi jackknife. 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 Yeah.
It is fun to be back in this room.
I mean, it's not that fun.
Well, you're here all the time.
Yeah, I spend a lot of time in this room.
Really?
In my kitchen and dining room, yes, I spend a lot of time there. I cook not 20 feet from here.
You do? You cook?
Yes, I cook.
How little I know about you.
I make crepes. I make all kinds of things.
I make crepes too.
I make better crepes. Don't worry about it.
Well, no, I think it's great that we both make crepes.
Some mascarpone and berry crepes. That's what I made last time.
Wow.
Yeah.
I applaud you, sir. I never pitted you. I never pinned you. Mm-hmm. Whatever that expression is, that old expression.
Yeah.
For a mascarpone.
Oh,
yeah.
Mascarpone. That's where it's at. You gotta make mascarpone.
I've never tried it.
You know?
Not with a crepe.
What have you tried it with?
I think I just had it on its own.
Oh,
which seems like a bad idea in retrospect.
No, mascarpone, you gotta use it. You gotta sweeten that up.
It's a cheese, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a cheese.
But it doesn't look like a cheese.
I mean, it looks like a cheese, but it looks like a cream cheesy cheese.
Your kitchen. We're in your kitchen. I don't know. Did we say that? I think we said that.
No, we didn't say it. I mean, I implied it.
The only times we record at your house are when I have a genuine panic moment about the amount of spiders in my basement.
Yeah. So, like once a week.
No. No. However, I remember doing this. So the first few times we ever recorded were here in your kitchen. And then we kind of settled into my basement. And then I had a freak out moment about spiders somewhere along the way, very inconsistently. I'm pretty sure the next week we were right back in the basement with no change. No change in the amount of spiders.
That sounds correct.
Same amount of spiders.
Yeah, I believe you didn't do anything about the spiders at that point.
I mean, I did things that, suburbanite, urban youth people like ourselves would do.
Which is freak out and go to someone else's kitchen?
Well, that in the first place. And in the second place, I'm pretty sure I diffused some sort of essential oil that's supposed to, violate their chi or something. And
yeah, that doesn't sound like it.
Make them pack their things and leave.
What kind of spiders are they?
Well, now we know for sure. Now, okay, can I tell you what happened?
Sure.
This is Sushi Jackknife, by the way.
Hey.
That's Nathan. I'm Justin.
As always.
You've probably been here before.
Neither one of us has changed who we are.
Yet. Change is going to come. I don't think for you, but maybe for me. So, I was downstairs the other day doing laundry.
Yeah.
And putting wet stuff in the dryer.
As you do.
As you do. You don't put dry stuff in the washer. Well, I guess you do.
No, you put dry stuff in the washer.
Sure.
You rarely put dry stuff in the dryer unless you're fluffing that. You want to fluff that mess, you throw that in the dryer.
Is that what you call that? Fluff? Yeah, I guess you do fluff that. Yeah.
Fluff dry.
Fluff it.
Come on.
Fluffer. So I'm closing the dryer door, and the dryer door has these little indentions where you're supposed to put your hand. But I never do that. I just push the outside of the door.
Okay.
So I close the dryer, and then I look into one of the divots as I'm about to turn the dryer on, and there is a, I don't know, $50 sized spider in there, and I got a really good look at it. It was definitely a brown recluse. If you don't know what those are, you probably don't live in Tennessee. If you do live in Tennessee, there could be one in your house right now. Basically, it's these crazy little spiders that have this little fiddle-shaped thing on their back, and if they bite you, your flesh decomposes. It doesn't necessarily kill you unless you're a child.
Right.
But I have one of those.
You have a child?
I have a child.
Or decomposing flesh?
Well, thankfully not that. But yeah, if you don't seek medical attention immediately, your flesh starts to rot away at the bite site. So they're very dangerous. They're dangerous.
I'm looking up stats right now.
Well, they don't bite that often, but if they bite you,
Do you want to know? As of 2014, between 2004 and 2014, how many people had died from brown recluse bites in the U.S.?
Sure.
One.
is that right? Do you have statistics on how many people were maimed?
No.
Okay, because I'm also concerned about maiming.
300 people were killed by lightning. So
Really?
yeah, you're 300 times more likely.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting. I almost put my hand on this one though.
Yeah.
So there's that, and just a general feeling of unsafety. So we called an exterminator. Seems logical.
Yeah.
They came down, took a look. They're like, "Yep, it's definitely those. They're there." So, at risk of killing you or harming you, maybe you could be that one person a year.
A decade. One person.
Oh, a decade. Oh, it's 10 years. You're right.
One person a decade.
Oh, good lord. Those are good stats.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're making me rethink my strategy here. So that's why I wanted to record at your house or somewhere else in my house.
In the span of 1989 to 1993, for some reason, this is what pulls up big on Google. There were fewer than 5,000 spider bites total in the
Wow.
United States.
Of
Out
any-
of all spiders.
Any kind of spider?
Any spider.
That's bizarre.
But
Wow.
80% of recluse bites were considered serious.
See, that's if you get bit, you got to do something about it.
Or you just,
Thus, we're here, and by
just let it rot.
well,
It's kind of like a diet plan.
I'm on one of those.
If you get bitten by a brown recluse, you're going to take some flesh out, get enough bites, that's a few pounds.
Sounds a lot easier than what I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but being back here
Yeah.
does make me it makes me reminisce a little bit.
It does not make me reminisce.
Well, no, you're here every day.
It makes me reminisce of the time about 2 hours ago when my child was throwing garbanzo beans across the floor.
Garbanzo beans.
Garbanzo beans.
Well, I have to applaud you. There are no garbanzo beans on your floor.
Well,
Nice job.
I don't live in, filth. I picked up the garbanzo.
That has not always been clear. I'm just kidding.
There are no
I'm
garbanzos.
kidding.
There are no mandarin orange slices.
Oh,
There are no steamed carrots.
look at his diet.
Yeah.
Does he eat all that?
Yeah.
Well, fantastic.
With his face.
You are.
Puts it right in there.
You know what you're doing?
Digest it.
You're winning as a father.
Well, I like to think so.
Uh,
No one's given me a trophy yet, though, so I'm getting pretty bitter. I'm about to give up.
Disappointing news. There's been a lot of that,
Yeah.
but on the milder side of disappointment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you think you know what I'm referring to?
Which thing?
Well,
I mean, there's a lot of news.
well, sure. There's a lot of news.
Are you talking about how the Cavaliers lost the NBA championship?
See, that's basketball, and I don't understand basketball.
Are you talking about how the Predators
Yes.
lost the Stanley Cup?
I am.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was a bummer.
it was a bummer.
Well, I could rant about it for a while. I'm not going to do that.
Don't rant about it.
Because people don't, if they weren't watching, they don't care.
That's true.
But I will say, referees should not decide how games go.
Oh, it was one of those.
Yeah.
That seems like there's a lot of that
Yeah.
across sports
Yeah.
lately.
It's, they canceled a goal in the second period by the Predators. And then didn't call goaltender interference
Okay.
when a player tripped the goalie, and that's the winning goal. So,
Well, that sounds like a complete bummer.
yeah. So, and the first goal that they canceled was because they blew the whistle. That's it.
Oh,
They accidentally blew the whistle.
well, I don't like any of this. I'm glad I didn't watch that game.
Yeah, so.
That sounds frustrating.
Yeah, so.
Imagine if you don't live in Nashville, and I assume most of you don't. Imagine you're downtown, wherever that may be, being flooded with people who didn't care. I mean, and I'm in this group who didn't care about hockey 2 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
Suddenly do have a propensity for drink and stupidity, as is, and they decide to congregate all in a central location
Yeah.
with an obscenely large television screen.
Yeah.
At the same time, colliding with a lot of out-of-town country music fans who are there for what do they call it? Music Fest?
CMA.
CMA.
Yeah.
CMA Music Fest. There was a fuck ton of people in this town.
Yeah. And you know what happened? Nothing.
Incident-wise?
Nothing.
That's true. That is actually true.
Yeah.
I heard 0 incidents.
It's
Though
a good place.
I did want to murder a lot of pedestrians with my car.
Yeah, and you weren't even involved in either group.
That's true.
Any
That's
possible
true.
violence was from unaffiliated people.
Correct.
So,
So there's that. Okay.
yeah.
Did we talk about how weird it is to look at your face?
To look at my face?
Well, just because usually we're doing this, if you can't tell, this is also very lo-fi
Yeah, well,
this evening.
someone
You
didn't want to bring mics.
You can name him.
No, I'm not going to. It wasn't me.
Oh.
But I'm not going to say who it was. I feel like that's rude. But it wasn't me, and that person,
Yeah.
I assume, was afraid to go into their spider-infested basement, whomever it might be,
Actually,
to grab 2 microphones and cables.
that is not the reason why. I have some inside knowledge here.
Did you just...
No, I'm sorry. No, I have.
Let's keep it neutral. We don't want to point fingers at anyone here.
Keep it Switzerland.
Uh-huh.
Got it. I
mean, it's someone at the table, but not me.
I have inside knowledge about this situation.
Okay.
I will not reveal my sources.
Okay.
That it had nothing to do with the spiders.
Sure.
It had everything to do with the relative energy level of said person.
So they didn't want to walk down the stairs?
That's correct.
Oh, man. I'm just saying,
Yep.
if a person is dieting, maybe walking a flight of stairs is helpful.
That's fair. That's fair. See, you can do this here. You can get up.
Yeah, I'm getting water
You can
all
walk.
the way over here. It may sound like someone is urinating. I do not know.
It likely does. We never do this in the basement. We never leave the table.
Well, that's because there's nowhere to go in
That's
the
the
basement.
point. Unless you want to walk into a wall of spiders.
If I wanted to go dry your dry laundry or wash your wet clothes, then yeah, I could go over there and do that. But that's it.
That'd be nice if you did that. I could see you daring, now that you know these statistics, and you know that I have brown recluse.
I'm just gonna go stick my tongue on every brown.
That's right. I dare you. That's you with your tongue out.
You think you're so tough?
All right, what else happened in the world?
What didn't?
What didn't happen in the world?
Oh, well, where should we start here?
Wherever the hell you want to start. It's another one of those neck-breaking weeks.
Well, we're gonna start with a non-blamey Trump
Okay.
situation here.
Okay. Non-blaming.
Yeah.
Surprised by the non-blaming.
Trump's very not completely. I mean, he's not completely out of it, but it's not Trump related necessarily.
Okay.
The shooting.
Yes.
So
Yesterday.
for those who the only news they get is like sports news or
Us.
E Week. No, because we give more than E.
Oh, we certainly do.
Yeah.
We certainly do.
I mean, I can talk about what the Kardashians did if we want to do that. It'll be made up because I don't know what the Kardashians did. But
anything you would say is probably fair game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
they, they're all starting their own anal bleaching companies.
That's
Fact. All of the Kardashians.
You can check that if you want, but you'll find nothing different.
You know who the main one spearheading that is? Rob Kardashian. Surprised I knew that there was a Rob.
Not really. I know I was giving you an odd. I think I was surprised that I knew who you were talking about.
I don't know why I know there's a Rob. I don't know what the Rob does.
He mostly be sad.
That sounds right.
He's
Well, I mean, he's related to. And not nearly as successful, I'm assuming, because we're talking about what he
I
does.
think he had a sock thing for. I don't want to make fun of him.
He had socks?
I think there was a sock. I don't know. I literally.
Is there a lot of money to be made in socks?
Well,
What's the sock market like these days?
Mr. Haynes is doing very well, and his bitter rival, Mr. Loom. This is a stupid
Loom?
This is a stupid direction I'm going in. There's no money to be made in socks.
No. So actual news.
Yes, let's.
For some reason, every year, Congress plays a Democrats versus Republicans game of baseball,
Indeed, they do.
which is very.
The thought of it.
For some reason, it took me a while to get to the actual news on that because I kept going. Wait, they were practicing baseball?
That's exactly the same experience I had.
Okay. Anyway, a far left lunatic
Yes.
decided that would be a really good time to take out some Republicans and went on a shooting rampage. What, shot four people?
I believe so.
Four
yeah.
people?
4 people.
Including the majority whip.
Yes. Which is a thing we have in our government.
Yes.
Yeah. There's a minority whip as well, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, they got to whip people up.
That's
That's
what
what
they
they're
do.
doing. They're whipping them up.
Yeah.
No one has died yet, except for the shooter.
Critical.
which,
Right.
I mean, that's... You didn't.
If
I mean, if someone should die in that situation, yeah.
well,
Yeah.
yes.
I mean, I'm not for it, but...
Right. Well, yeah.
Okay.
I feel like we've gotten better. This is a little morbid, but I feel like if anything, we've gotten better over the last few decades at killing the person who started killing people. I remember a time where people would run away to the woods for months and
There
months
are
on
a lot
ends.
fewer manhunts
Yes.
in life.
I feel like the late 90s, early 2000s, there were a lot of manhunts.
That was peak manhunt.
Peak manhunt season. And it didn't have anything...
The golden age of manhunts.
Right, and it had nothing to do with ladies' night.
I feel like that would be a Bill O'Reilly book. The golden age of manhunts.
Yeah.
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 Right next to Killing Lincoln. That's an actual book, by the way.
I'm aware.
Yeah.
I'm aware. Someone should write a book like Unkilling Lincoln, a zombie history.
Well, I mean,
That's got to exist already.
I'd read it.
I would read it.
So, I don't know if you recall, around election time, I was complaining about how now everything is far left and far right, and there's no middle.
I do.
And my thought at the time was, if everyone feels like it's martyrs versus, the evil people,
Correct.
something bad is going to happen.
Yes.
A witness.
Case in point.
This is what happens when you have people all getting their news from Sean Hannity or Rachel Maddow and not, actually reading any news. All their news comes from commentary.
Correct.
You can't get news from commentary.
Yeah, well, it's an important distinction to make because those are two different things.
Yes. And both of them are they're commentators.
Yes.
It's the same as getting news from me. You don't get news from me.
No.
I have an opinion. I'll tell you the opinion.
Right.
That should not shape your opinion.
Ostensibly, why you listen is for the the off-color commentary around the news.
Yeah.
We're not reporting anything.
No. And this is why I refuse to, I started listening to at one point and I had to stop. Pod Save America.
I have heard of this.
Had to stop. Just because I don't want to listen to people that I might agree with.
Well, you are the guy who famously, is a moderate, but you subject yourself to hard right talk radio.
I am a left-leaning moderate.
Yes.
I feel like far either side is insane.
Correct.
But if I listened to far left,
Yeah.
I would be more likely to go, they got some good points. I'm going to change everything I think about things without doing any research. Whereas if I listen to Phil Valentine, yes, Phil Valentine, I'm calling out Phil Valentine. I will call him out forever. I'm going to go, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. You're an idiot.
Indeed. You know what your reaction is going to be.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's never been a time I've listened to him. I mean, the closest I get is he starts out a point and I go, okay, that's an argument the person could make.
Right.
And then he says another sentence. I'm like, no, humans don't make that argument. That's wrong.
Isn't it interesting how it's in our nature to sort of go down the road with people a little bit?
Yeah.
Until they hit that crazy point. Because I notice it with myself. I have to be very careful. I'm subjectable. Subjectable? I'm persuadable.
Okay.
Let's say.
Okay.
For at least short periods of time.
Yeah.
Until I realize, my God, what am I thinking? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Well, and everyone is.
Right.
That's the danger of, the Fox Newses, and if we're going even crazier, Alex Jones.
Yes, indeed.
Sending people to, pizza shops where there are no basements to rescue the enslaved children.
Of which there are none.
No, they're in the basement.
Right.
If you find the basement, you'll get the kids. Trust me.
And the repetition is a big factor there,
And then now with Trump as president, you are going. I mean, you're starting to see it, and it's getting crazy. The far left people are coming out now.
Yes.
Everything. I know that Russia is happening.
Oh yeah.
There's conspiratorial things. Not everything that's happened is a conspiracy.
That is true. That is true.
I mean, at this point, the facts we have are that he, did some stuff he shouldn't have done to Comey. That's the facts we have. The rest we're investigating.
That's
Let's
true.
wait till that's done.
That's correct.
But
it is important. It's important to remember, despite how I feel, which is like, it's like bird in the hand.
Yeah.
It feels like to me, or nesting doll in the hand.
Yes.
If you will. Which is a funny analogy because you keep taking them apart.
Yeah.
And there's more and more and more.
And in the middle is Steve Bannon.
Exactly. Yeah. Hopefully someone has made that image online somewhere already with all of the players in the Trump camp. So yeah, while it feels like it's like right there, it is important to remember what we actually know for sure at this point.
We know it's getting worse.
It's getting worse.
But you got people, every move that is made is like, this is the reason they're trying, it's the bigger plan. Blah!
Right.
He doesn't have bigger plans.
I
He's not thinking outside of 3 days.
would agree with that statement.
No.
Yeah, I would agree with that statement entirely.
So I don't think everything is a conspiracy on either side.
True.
There's not a dark state government hiding that Barack Obama is heading up. So, yeah, I'm talking to you again, Phil Valentine.
If only that were true. God, that'd be amazing.
That's why he moved to Washington, D.C. That's why they got a house there. Yeah.
Oh,
because he is starting his own shadow government that is, deep entrenched in the current administration and ruining things for them. Never mind the fact that they're ruining everything.
Exactly. Oh, man.
But the leaks!
Oh, come on. Every administration, it's worth remembering, by the way, has leaks.
Yeah.
That's how we get half of our news that comes out of the government.
The people who are going, nothing happened like this during Barack Obama. You remember when WikiLeaks started?
Uh-huh.
That was a pretty big one.
That was large and in charge.
You heard of Snowden?
Right. Absolutely. And Chelsea Manning before that.
Yeah. It's all down the line.
All down the line.
All down the line. You would have to
NSA anybody?
You'd have to go back to probably the 20s to find when there weren't leaks, and that's just because it was very difficult to, like, you couldn't conveniently leak things.
Absolutely.
You couldn't, accidentally send an email or something. You had to go meet someone.
Right.
The golden age.
If they didn't go to your speakeasy, it could be hard.
The golden age of reporting, right?
Yeah. Oh, God. It would have been fun because during that period, I feel like it would have been necessary to be drunk all the time.
Mm-hmm. It was all these people meeting in dark alleys with their gin-soaked secrets.
That's correct. Oh, very good, Nathan.
Thank you.
Their gin-soaked secrets. Wow. And you haven't read a Raymond Chandler novel.
No.
That's...
I don't need to, see?
It's in your head.
It's so easy to come up with. You don't need to read it.
I just finished one a couple days ago.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I'm
I'm sorry that you wasted that much time.
I didn't. It was fantastic.
How long did you take?
I don't know, a couple weeks. It takes me a while.
You could have read so many other things.
I'm not a fast reader. I
just
don't know
mean,
that
like,
I could have.
Gross. Anything else?
Now I just started a Philip K. Dick book. No, you giggle. I can't remember what the name of it is though. It's not one of the big ones. It is. Nope. Oh, it's called Eye in the Sky.
Okay.
Eye in the Sky.
Take your word for it.
I'll let you
that
know.
sounds like a book.
I'll let you know how it goes.
Okay. Good luck.
Thanks.
Speed.
I heard it's cuckoo, so we'll see. We'll see how that goes.
That sounds right.
Yeah. Did you watch little old Jeff Sessions on the TV this week?
I can't do Jeff Sessions
I
anymore.
caught just a little bit of it. Just a little bit.
You know he's going to be the first domino that falls.
He looks like he's bursting on the inside.
It's just it feels like every 3 weeks, someone goes, oh, hey, we also have records of another meeting with Russia. Anyway, just here's this.
Right.
Do with that what you will, Washington Post.
It has been, I'm so glad it has been almost all Washington Post. These guys go
New York
for
Times is all over it, too.
I know, but these guys find a lot of stuff. They really do.
It's the New York Times.
This
It's
is
an
true.
old-fashioned newspaper battle here.
Everyone there is soaked in gin.
Yeah.
I think that's how they're
Just
finding
soaking in gin.
That's right.
They have a hot tub full of gin in the New York Times.
Bathtub gin.
It's disgusting.
It's gross. It's gross.
That explains so much of their publishing of leaks. Mainstream media, right? With their bathtub gin.
It is fun to think of some of their commentators just sort of hanging out in that tub. It is fun.
There are a few that just, oops, I fell in. Oh!
It's fun to think about David Brooks being really pissed off and sitting down in the gin tub.
I'll be in the gin tub if you need me.
Are there where you always are? Shut up, Frank. Anyway. Yeah, no. So the shooting.
Yeah.
We got away from that, but we're back there now, I think. The shooting. I was also bewildered by the fact that they have a baseball team and they practice at the same time every day.
Yeah. And that there's not normally security.
Yeah.
The only reason there was Capitol Police were there.
Right.
Because of the majority whip.
Mm-hmm.
If there had been no majority whip, let's say he pulls a hammy the practice before. Trying to leg out a bunt. He's trying to leg out the bunt. Pulls a hammy halfway down first. You gotta stay home.
What is pulling it? Oh, hamstring.
Yeah.
I thought you
Come
meant
on, get with the lingo. Anyway, so he's trying to leg out a bunt, pulls a hammy.
Are you in the 20s right now?
Oh no, this is baseball talk.
Okay, that's just baseball talk.
Oh yeah.
Which takes you back to the 20s.
He has to stay home. You know what the Capitol Police are doing?
What are the Capitol
They're
Police?
staying home with him, massaging his hammy. There is no security out on the baseball field. Crazy Bernie Sanders voter shows up, and he can just shoot all the people he wants. That's I will say two things about all of the congressmen. Number one, should I be positive or negative first?
Negative, please.
Okay, we'll do negative, and we'll end on positive. The shooting happens, and you have Paul Ryan, Ted Cruz on this side, and you got Chuck Schumer and people like that on the other side, all talking about how this is just America just has to come together. When this entire time, that is not what they've been doing.
Not in the least.
Chuck Schumer, every time a Republican opens his mouth, is going, "They're a liar!"
Yeah.
And Paul Ryan, every time a Democrat opens their mouth, has diarrhea out of his face. I don't know what it is he does. It's just nonsense every time he starts speaking.
I really dislike Paul Ryan.
Well, a lot of people do. He's a very punchable person.
He is. We've talked about this.
Not as much as Ted Cruz.
Yeah.
Ted Cruz is the most punchable human being. Yeah, no, I put him ahead of Eric Trump.
Wow. That's a big statement.
He doesn't. He looks more smug than Eric Trump.
It's something about Ted Cruz, if I'm thinking about punching him, and I do, something in me wants to put, like, clown makeup on him before I do it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why.
It does feel like there would be a funny sound effect.
Yeah.
Like your hand is just going to bounce off of his face.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then he'll do that thing where he falls backward and then lifts back up, like one of those blow-up clowns. That sounds good.
So, both parties, I'm trying to think of a polite way to say this, are full of piles of shit. Yeah, that's it. That's what I'm going to go with.
That'll work.
So this happens.
That works. And then they have this moment of...
You know, guys, we all just have to come together.
Get along.
I've been telling this to my colleagues across the aisle the whole time because they somehow still are blaming the other side for not getting along with them.
Right. Exactly.
Now, positive. I'll throw the positive out.
Give me the positive.
About them, too.
Yes.
No one, as far as I've seen, has tried to make this a political gun issue on either side.
At the moment.
At the moment, so far, a couple days have gone by, nothing.
Okay.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
That is good.
No one has called for gun control. No one has said, if they had guns, this wouldn't have happened.
Correct.
The gun saved them, so...
You know, it took me right back, and to be honest, I had completely forgotten about this event. It took me back to when Gabrielle Giffords got shot in the head.
Yeah.
She got shot in the head.
Yeah.
That should have been enough.
Right in there.
I mean, there's many times that it should have been enough. There's so many shooting incidents.
And that's the example of the far right. We got the far left, we got the far right, we got the far everything.
Everybody's shooting everybody.
It's great.
If you're, that's the
land of equal opportunities.
Yeah, equal opportunity murder. I mean, as bad as the incident on like the London Bridge was, I couldn't help thinking they got stabbed.
Yeah.
It's not fun to be stabbed. I don't want people to get stabbed.
Right.
If that had happened here, they would have killed a lot more people.
Oh, yeah.
And they wouldn't have killed. You don't recover from death.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like, I just can't help but think, like, we could decrease this so much.
Yeah, we could. We won't.
We won't.
That's not going to happen.
And, well, not anytime soon.
I feel like gun control is rapidly becoming in the same category as abortion, where like it's going to get brought up every election. It doesn't matter. Nothing's going to change.
Yeah, we are sort of locked into it.
Like Roe v. Wade's not going to get overturned, so Republicans just calm down.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And gun control, at this point, not really going to be as strong as anyone wants. Yeah. Like, you can have little things on both arguments, but you're not going to get what you want.
You know what they've done with Roe v. Wade? And I don't know if this is the same with gun control. It may be. What they've done with Roe v. Wade is while at a federal level, abortion is legal, locally, state, in state legislatures and such, it's been at war. I mean, you've got it that, okay, it's the law of the land.
Yes.
But they're doing everything they can do to wipe out the clinics where it can actually get done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's one clinic in Mississippi. There's one. I think there were many a few years ago. Mm-hmm. So they're sort of in states where Republicans are gunning for it. You have them sort of systematically wiping them out. I don't know how many
Democrats should start gunning for guns
in Tennessee. Well, it could. It could. It's like this, and that is almost it's almost unseen, right? Unless you look at data, right, to know, or if you're seeking an abortion, you can't find where to get one. It's harder. It's easier to have these big conversations publicly at the federal level. It's like easier for people to kind of sneakily do things, if that's a word, at the state and local level.
What would be interesting, and it's not a thing that could ever happen. So we'll just say that now.
Okay.
Go to California.
Yeah.
You got North California. There are some very conservative counties.
Yes.
You got South California, very liberal counties.
Absolutely.
Let California have county by county gun control and see what happens. Just as a social experiment, see what happens per capita.
Okay.
It would have to be per capita.
Yes.
And I'm saying that now because Republicans would go, look at how many murders were in LA still. Well, okay, it's LA. We're not talking about
You have to compare population
Humboldt
to...
County's not the same as LA.
Exactly. Exactly.
So just compare per capita. See what happens.
I like this idea.
I mean, I don't know what would happen. I would like to think that the counties with fewer guns would have fewer murders. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe they'd get more resourceful. The murderers would start murdering with car keys. I don't know.
It's a decent idea. It's a
Car
decent
keys?
idea. Yes.
Murder with car keys.
Well, messy.
Yeah. I don't recommend it.
Probably not terribly effective.
No. I mean, it's very time consuming.
Stabbing.
I mean, they're very shallow stabs, too.
Well, yeah, I've got a car key right here.
Yeah. You're getting them 1.5 inches at a time.
Right. With a blunt, Oh, boy.
Don't try and murder anyone with a car key. This is your public service announcement of the episode.
Try not to murder anyone at all.
Well,
If you can help it.
but definitely not with a car key. Be smart about
Be
it.
smart about it. What Republicans are doing while you're distracted by Sessions and Comey. This is, of course, from the Washington Post. This is in the opinion pages I will mention.
Oh.
By Dana Milbank. Now,
Dana Milbank.
he writes, as the Comey craze and Sessions obsession entertain the nation.
Do we know that Dana Milbank is a he?
Yeah, there's a picture of him.
Okay.
I mean, he's at least presented.
I was expecting a, for some reason, dark-haired woman.
I see that as a Dana, too, in my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like brown, very dark brown hair.
Yeah.
Shoulder length.
And she's nice.
Yeah,
She's
Dana's nice.
kind of...
But a guy named Dana, I don't know that he's nice. For some reason,
it could be a real dick.
I don't view Guy Dana as a really nice person.
This is fascinating.
Yeah.
I know because there's a picture.
Does he look like a dick?
That's a great question.
I mean, he looks tiny.
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Smug.
A bit smug.
Yeah. You know, when they talk about liberal elites, they're just talking about guys named Dana. That's who they're talking about.
How many? Can you look that statistic up?
How
many men are there named Dana?
You know what? Yeah. I can't go with what you're saying.
Senate Republican leaders have used the diversion to advance Trump care legislation in the shadows. Your friend and mine, he said sarcastically, Mitch McConnell, invoked Rule XI5 or 14, I believe. Yes, a procedure that allows legislation to skip committees and go directly to the floor. McConnell is hoping to rush the health care bill to a vote before the July 4th recess, and GOP senators working on state legislation aren't even sharing the specifics with their Republican colleagues, so they are keeping that tight to the chest. We aren't stupid, despite what you think. I added that bit. One senior GOP aide told... Dana says, no, they aren't, and their subterfuge is working. Unnoticed by most, Senate Republicans believe they have cobbled together the 50 votes necessary to repeal Obamacare. Now, if you've been paying attention, you know that the alternative plan, whatever, Trump Care, basically, has already passed in the House.
Yes.
So,
yeah,
if the Senate can push this through, if the Republicans in the Senate can jam it through, like it sounds like they're doing, we're going to have a repeal of Obamacare and a replace with whatever the fuck this law is.
They don't even know at this point.
Skipping ahead a little bit, on the very day that Comey testified before the Senate, the House passed legislation largely repealing the Dodd-Frank financial reforms implemented after the 2008 crash. This
Because,
scares me.
that's a really great idea. Yeah. It's I'm glad I bought my house at the bottom of the housing cycle, not at the top.
Right?
Because we kind of see. I don't understand. We've seen what happens.
We've seen what happens.
It's not like a theoretical, on paper, what should be happening is blah, 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 blah. We know what happens. It's growth, collapse.
Crash. Exactly. Guys, if you need a primer on this, go back and watch The Big Short again, because I know you've watched it because it's excellent.
Go look at how all of the economic stuff in the country has ever worked.
Yeah, or any economy. Look at any economy.
And it just hurts my head.
Well, I feel like the repeal of Dodd-Frank, I really feel like this is where people on the left, like me, say, what could their motivation be?
Yeah.
They being the Republicans, other than some sort of personal gain, some sort of favor for someone they know in business.
I get that.
Yeah.
I also would say that if you are a diehard trickle-down economic person,
Right.
who truly believes in trickle-down economics,
Yes.
your view is a company who self-regulates can spend more money to hire more people, create more jobs, the economy goes up.
Yes.
On paper, of course, great.
Sure.
It's fantastic on paper.
Perfect world scenario.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like everything is fantastic on paper.
Right.
If it wasn't fantastic on paper, then we got rid of it.
That's right.
If it's still around, it was good on paper at some point. We just know that this, in practice,
We've tested this. We've given it a go.
it worked really well for a few years,
Yeah.
and then things caught up to us.
Indeed. And it fucked a lot of people,
But
to put it mildly.
It's what happens when you got baby boomers passing laws.
Oh, God.
They don't think in the future.
No, they think...
They got 10 years
Next
down the
couple
road
years.
max. That's
Yeah.
all they can think.
It's little details here. The bill would, among other things, remove the requirement that retirement advisors put their customers' interests before their own.
Yeah.
The House on Tuesday afternoon took up another controversial matter under cover of the session's distraction. As the Attorney General testified in the Senate, the House voted along party lines to require a Social Security number for people to get Obamacare benefits. Whoa. That's meant to block illegal immigrants from accessing health care benefits. Opponents say it would also deny medical care for many newborn babies who are citizens, as they have not yet received a Social Security number. You and I both had babies.
And again, this is one, if you think for 15 seconds about
Yes.
ignoring any people.
Right.
Let's take out any emotion.
Okay.
And there's no suffering people need healthcare.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
They're just pure numbers. We have illegal immigrants that can't be turned away from an emergency room.
Correct.
That also can't have health care.
Yes.
And they can't pay their bills.
Also correct.
Now, if you're not letting them pay for any sort of health care, which they would.
Yeah.
I mean, at least some would.
Sure.
Some people would pay for that.
Absolutely.
Then you have all these health care costs just sitting there.
That is correct. Unpaid.
I
Won't be paid.
And that's bad for the economy.
Yeah, it is. Well, it's bad. Well, yeah. And it's
Just, if you're looking at just the economy, no people whatsoever, you don't care about people, you don't care if they all die, It's bad.
Correct me if I'm wrong here. Isn't that the kind of thing that tends to raise everyone else's premiums?
Yes.
Aha.
I don't.
Therein lies the rub, my friend. Therein lies.
It's the lack of logic from a completely Republican control. I mean, it's the same that would happen if the Democrats controlled everything.
Mm-hmm.
There would be no counterpoint to their point. You gotta have a counterpoint.
This is
so you
your
look at things.
This is your sort of
Yes, counterpoints are important.
this is your sticking point.
You gotta have point, counterpoint.
Yeah.
You look at the points, you go, oh, both of those are points. Ooh, where's the middle? There's the middle.
What I think I would love to see happen at this point, going back to sort of our stratification, right? Going back to our entrenched
Yeah.
left-right thing. In many ways, I feel, and it probably will change as these, frankly, as people die
Yeah.
and people from other generations move into positions of power, namely ours. And I guess the Gen Xers will be next, won't they?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we've got some of them
We got a few of those.
coming in.
But there'll be some millennials
Yeah.
soon. What a dirty word. Anyway,
They're going to pass laws about avocado toast. Is that what you're saying? All brunches must have avocado toast.
no VR Wednesdays. Just saying, we need a break, guys. We need to unplug. Okay, so as and maybe this is what I'm saying. Maybe as time passes, this will happen naturally. I kind of want to see what we care about in our two camps change.
Okay.
You know, the Republican Party of the 80s is not the Republican Party of the day.
No.
The Republican Party under the second Bush administration is not the same party as today.
No, it's very different.
It's very different.
Thank you, Tea Party idiots.
Yeah, that was helpful.
Really, it's really nice for you to get in there and negotiate and work with other people.
Same goes for the Democrats.
Yeah.
It's changed. I can't think as specifically about how it's changed. But
Well, I think it's in the process of changing.
yeah, there you go. That's very
I
true.
think
That's very
I
true.
think you're going to see next election,
Mm-hmm.
if things continue the way they're going, some sort of Democrat Tea Party, whatever it would be called.
Oh, absolutely.
Which also scares me.
Because it's going to
Hopefully
divide.
Hopefully they'll have logic
Let's hope.
and not just go in there and go, hey, I've got ideas. No, I'm not listening to you.
Well, and to some extent, that's already happening. And I'm not criticizing this organization because they're doing some things. The Indivisible folks, if you've heard about Indivisible, I mean, explicitly they say we were staffers. During the time of the Obama administration, when the Tea Party folks, took over in midterm elections. We looked at their strategy. We looked at the strategy that the Tea Party people implemented.
Which was a smart strategy.
Very effective.
You have to give it to them. It's the one smart thing they have.
And so the Indivisible folks are saying, let's take that strategy. Obviously, we have different values. Implement that strategy to push forward our values. I don't know that means they're crazy. I don't think so. But
It does. Well, I don't think necessarily the Tea Party people were crazy. I think what happened was the initial Tea Party movement attracted crazy.
Okay. All right.
And I think that there's a very strong possibility that the Indivisible thing
will attract crazy.
can start attracting, I don't know, like, if I'm going to spitball, Bernie voters that are willing to shoot congressmen. I mean, just if I'm going to throw an idea out there.
Correct.
Just spitballing, throwing something up against the wall.
Yeah. No kidding. There's crazy on both sides. It's true.
Yeah.
Anytime you can't have a conversation with someone, that's an indicator that things are not good.
And it's getting more and more like that no matter who you talk to.
That's true. You know what? Let's take a moment and applaud ourselves. We're not the same. We're different. But we have civil conversations every week.
No.
Mostly.
No.
No.
Drop dead.
Yeah, I didn't get to watch as much of the sessions as I wanted to.
I didn't want to watch it.
I understand that.
I really can't do any more of these.
He looks guilty as fuck.
These congressional hearings, I don't know that I can listen to any more of them.
Yeah.
Because I really feel like it's like a Groundhog Day situation.
It is a little bit.
Every time I turn it on, it's, now what did you know about Russia? And they go, I don't feel like I can discuss this in an open session.
That is true. Yeah.
And then you go, okay.
All right, fine. See ya.
Well, I yield the rest of my time.
Yeah,
So,
and they push that little button thing.
right.
I don't know if it turns their mic off or if it's a clock.
It's a chess clock.
That's what I thought. That's what I always thought it was.
By the way, Dana stats here.
Yeah, Dana stats. Thanks.
The peak number of men named Dana,
Yeah.
at that point, baby boys named Dana, born was in 1962 when 1,789 people in the U.S. were given that name.
I could see that.
That's the peak.
1962.
If you look at this graph, let me show you this graph here. You'll notice that
Wow.
around,
Wow.
we'll say like 94,
Yeah.
it's just like 0.
Off a cliff.
So Dana here is the last of a dying breed.
He's the last of a dying
He's
breed.
the last of the men Danas.
Do you think that 1994 or whatever that day was where it dropped off, there was an immediate switch to making it more of a feminine name?
I would assume so.
Like, what happened to make us all go, you know what?
You know what? That's when Dana Carvey was off of SNL.
Oh my.
They were like, we just don't care anymore.
Whoa.
He's off SNL. He's dead to us.
I think
That's my theory.
I think you just solved it.
Also,
You just solved it.
what's this guy's name?
Dana Milbank.
Dana Milbank, if you're listening to this. If you go to babynameshub.com, they're looking for people to upload photos of themselves so you can see what a Dana would look like.
Oh!
So if you'd like to go upload your picture, they have 0 Danas up right now, so no one knows what a Dana looks like.
Wow.
It's just like me. I'm just assuming male Danas are the worst. Female Danas have shoulder-length brown hair.
And are nice.
And probably work in HR. Dana seems like an HR.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're really fitting my schema of Dana's.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we know he has a professionally taken picture
Yeah,
of
he just has
himself.
to upload that. He doesn't
Yeah.
even have to have a picture taken.
Even though it looks like a dick in it, but
Well,
yeah.
I mean, we need to know what Danas look like.
We did one. Get
So,
the
if you
truth
can
out.
get a
the
hold of
truth out.
Dana, tell him that we're sick of the mainstream media keeping their photos off of babynameshub.com.
Oh my god. I'm gonna read a bit of this just because it needs to be read. Everybody knows this. Special counsel is investigating Trump for possible obstruction of justice, officials say. So in addition to the Russia business, Comey's testimony, many people have said, laid the groundwork for Trump being charged with obstruction of justice, and Bob Mueller is investigating that angle as well.
This is my favorite breaking news of the week.
Okay, cool. I'm glad I printed it.
Because everyone went breaking news about this.
Yes.
When, as previously stated, all we know
It's true.
is that this happened.
Is that there is an investigation, and we're you know what you make a good point. We're assigning so much credibility to something because someone is looking into it.
But I mean, it's just breaking news. Yeah, they're doing the thing we would have assumed they're doing.
It's true.
And if they hadn't said that,
Right.
I would have just assumed part of the investigation was looking into these charges of obstruction of justice. But until they said that, it was just an assumption.
And hey, look, I'm glad they're doing it. But it's kind of like your wife says, "Hey, I think we're out of black beans."
yeah.
and you go investigate to see if, in fact, we are out of black beans.
Mm-hmm.
In this scenario, we all live together.
Yeah.
Okay. If we collectively are out of black beans
in the black bean pantry,
right? And because you're going to look, she starts believing that more strongly that we are out of black beans because you're looking.
Then I find 5 cans. You know where they were hidden? Behind the Pintos. What idiot put the beans on the wrong bean shelf?
It was you.
Oh,
it was you, and you forgot.
I feel like a dummy.
The wrong bean shelf. Why do certain phrases stay with
the wrong bean shelf?
The wrong bean shelf.
Yeah.
Pretty sure that's a Bare Naked Ladies song.
It should be.
Album cut, but not a bad one. I was a big fan of those guys when I was in middle school.
That does not surprise me.
It shouldn't.
Was that in the If I Had $1 Million era?
I'm not that old.
I don't remember when.
I had $1 million.
I don't know any of their songs except for what they played on the radio.
No, this was 1 Week era.
Okay.
The big hit. Yeah.
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah, with the pseudo rapping.
Yeah.
And I bought the record after that record too.
Man.
The record where they were riding the coattails of 1 Week.
Yeah. And they still exist.
They
somehow.
do. And it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
An odd fact.
Well, none of what they did was ever that bad.
It's just goofy. Yeah. It's goofy.
Don't take it seriously, you know.
Yeah, it's not bad.
You're not going to hold the songwriting up against like Bob Dylan and people like that. It's goofy songwriting.
I mean, you might.
Well, I mean, if you're bad at holding things up against other things.
True.
If you make bad decisions in life.
Well, under that, yes. Yeah. That's what I'm... I heard they record a background vocal all together on at least one song on every record, all in the nude.
Why not? Why wouldn't you?
You can do whatever you want.
If you're the Bare Naked Ladies, all bets are off the table. You may never wear clothes.
What do you think's in their rider when they come to a venue?
I feel like it would just be really strange things like 150 lime Jello cups.
That's one.
They don't even like lime Jello.
Right.
They just like the green is pleasing to the eye.
So every venue loves them because they have 150 lime Jello cups.
They want
unmolested.
150 lime Jello cups, but then they also want like 5 strawberry Jello because those are the ones they eat.
Actually,
the others are
they just like to look at them.
Right.
I feel like it's that, and then like the complete Blu-ray collection of Star Trek: Deep Space Nine.
That sounds right.
Right.
That sounds right.
Right. And like a tube television.
Hats. Just any sort of hat they can find.
It'd be a random hat.
It doesn't even matter. It just says hat.
You know how I've been watching
writer.
all this old Whose Line Is It Anyway? And they have those boxes of hats?
Yeah.
It's like that.
On the writer, 4 down, it's like lime Jello, brisket dinner. They want brisket. They love brisket. Hat, and DVDs.
Deep Space Nine.
Yeah.
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 So.
There's nothing about the scenario we just laid out that would surprise me a bit.
No. Well, we're going to find out that they're just gigantic turd people, and they have an incredibly we all have to have our own dressing room and a masseuse in each one.
And the guy that raps is, he's either the most laid back or the most needy. I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm. They all need heroin. Just piles of heroin.
Guys, if you want to start a Twitter war with the Bare Naked Ladies, individually and on their band Twitter, as I'm sure, with us involved, just go right ahead.
Yeah, why not?
It'd be fun.
I haven't gotten blocked by anyone on Twitter yet in life.
I haven't either.
I'm really, honestly, I've been kind of trying to get Trump to block me.
You've been tweeting at him?
Yeah, well, I reply occasionally.
Okay.
And so, like today, let me pull this up here. And it's not even necessarily a thing where I want him to block me. It's just like one of those things where I'm replying going, maybe this one will get me blocked. We'll find out. So, earlier today, let's see. I've got to pull up my tweets and replies. I replied to a lot of people today. Okay, Donald Trump tweeted, Why is that I think he meant it.
Oh, man.
Hillary Clinton's family and Dems dealing with Russia are not looked at, but my dealings are. And I said, tell you what, you resign as president and we'll all leave you alone and promise to hassle the next president about Russia. Deal? He did not reply to that.
Aw.
Then he said at one point, Crooked H, that stands for Hillary, destroyed phones with hammer, bleached emails, and had husband meet with Attorney General days before she was cleared. And they talk about obstruction? And I said, when I was a child and I got in trouble, I would whine that my sister never got in trouble for the same thing. And then I grew out of that. No blocking.
Wow.
I honestly don't know what it would take.
You're trying. You don't speak his language.
That's true.
He looks at your well-constructed tweets and he...
I don't understand.
That's right.
No kafifi about this.
He also doesn't know how to block people.
Oh, no, he does.
Oh, does he block people?
Yeah, there's been a whole thing lately where he keeps blocking comedians.
That's fantastic. Such as?
Well,
Do you know
I
who's
can't
blocked?
remember. It's mostly writers
Okay.
from things.
Okay.
But they take great pride in it. And I feel a
I
little
would
left
too.
out.
I would make that my little statement about me. Blocked by Trump.
Yeah, definitely. I would take a screenshot of that and then make that my pinned tweet. So, since we have no mics, we
Right.
have no equipment,
Correct.
does that mean we have no quick hit music?
No, I can put it in later.
Are you sure
Yeah.
you still have the technology to do
I
that?
do.
The spiders didn't eat it?
Well,
Maybe?
it's a possibility. I'll work my magic.
Okay.
Don't worry. I'll roll up my sleeves.
Well, are we ready for some quick hits?
I'm ready for quick hits.
Okay, play the music in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1/2, 1/4, go!
That's my little...
I don't like it.
That's just for me.
I really don't like that.
You don't even know what it sounds like.
No.
It's a lot like that. You've never listened, so you don't know.
So first, NBA Hall of Famer, Dennis Rodman.
I'm sorry, what?
NBA Hall of Famer Dennis Rodman
Okay.
is, again, this has happened before, headed to North Korea to try and unite the countries through the art of basketball.
I remember this.
Yes. Again, he's doing this currently. I'd like you to describe the plot of the Buddy Road Trip movie that would star Dennis Rodman and Kim Jong-un. Knowing it doesn't matter what the plot is, I'm watching that.
Okay. So, I gotta say, casting choices first. You and me played Dennis Rodman and Kim Jong-un.
Which one's which?
Now flip a coin.
Okay.
We both look pretty similar to either of them.
Right.
Yeah. So, so it's you and me.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Kim and Rod.
Yeah. Now, real quick,
Yeah.
is one of us wearing blackface for this?
Well, no, of course not.
Okay, because that's not tastefully done.
Well, no.
Okay.
That's like asking.
I mean, it's not my movie. I didn't write it. I did not directing it. I'm just there.
And I'm not. I'm gonna get a story credit, which means I just threw out some stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So first things first. It's a normal day. Normal day in North Korea. We wake up in the
sun is
palace.
shining.
In the palace.
Birds are tweeting.
Yeah. Someone is flatulent.
Mm-hmm.
Because
As does
juxtaposing with the birds, it's always it gets a laugh. Actually, we don't have to back up. This is fine. This is fine. We could have some shots of Dennis. I think it's going to be you.
Okay.
Flying in.
I am pretty Rodman-esque.
You are. Flying in the night before, getting in very late, being welcomed by the castle guards.
Like, it's late and I'm tired, but it's still obvious I could get, a good 12 rebounds in a game. Right that minute.
Absolutely. So
No big deal.
you're excited to see your buddy.
Okay.
You walk into his space.
Mm-hmm.
He's almost finished with the concubine.
Almost finished.
This is the relationship you have.
I sit there and I wait
You wait.
because I'm polite.
There's a chair for that.
Uh-huh.
You're not the only person that has to wait there sometimes.
It's the waiting chair.
It's the waiting chair.
Okay.
It doesn't take long.
By the way, nothing sexual is happening with any concubines there. They're just like hanging out.
Oh, of course. Yeah. They're playing Wave Race because they just got that.
Yeah.
They just got that in North Korea. So, yeah, he does his thing. Then you guys go down to the private basketball court.
Mm-hmm.
Along the way,
Yeah.
mishaps occur.
Naturally.
Yeah.
Oh, the shenanigans.
The
The shenanigans.
the disgruntled public in North Korea overrun the castle. Simultaneously, Alec Baldwin playing our boy
Right.
falls asleep on the big red button.
Naturally.
Head crashes on it mid tweet.
As does happen.
He's typing out take cov.
Fifi.
Yeah, and then his head hits the thing.
He thinks it's the Coke button, but it turns out it's not the Coke button.
There's more than one Coke button.
Right.
Yeah. It's easy to get them mixed up. So, missiles are approaching. This is going to be a quick movie
Yeah.
because everyone's about to die.
Yeah.
So
well,
I
I mean, that's
think-
probably all anyone wants to see.
I think part 2 of this movie is going to take place in hell.
Okay.
And the road trip, oh, wow. The road trip is a Dante's Inferno-esque traverse through
Oh, I like-
the many layers of hell.
Now this is a comedy still though.
Oh yeah, it's still a comedy.
It's a lighthearted
There's a lot of farting.
hell comedy.
It's a lighthearted hell comedy with a horrid dictator and a very confusing man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
That seems right.
yeah.
And then will they meet Satan at the end of it?
Of course.
Who plays Satan? I mean, in your ideal scenario.
ideal
We don't know if
scenario?
they've accepted the role.
Right. Okay. So I'm shooting the moon here.
Yeah.
Okay, shooting the moon. Who's the kid that was in Sixth Sense?
Haley Joel Osment.
Yeah, that guy.
Okay.
Except he's the age he was
Right.
when he did Sixth Sense. He's not the age he is now.
So a child.
A child.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like it.
Okay.
I'm on board with
That's
that.
that's my elevator pitch.
All right.
Yeah.
Speaking of movies.
Okay.
In an interview with Vice, Joel Schumacher
Oh, that guy.
apologized for Batman and Robin after 20 years of ridicule. I will note, by the way, that he did not apologize for the suit nipples.
Okay.
Someone presented him with the idea. He went, "That looks cool," and that was his explanation in this interview. Anyway, now that he's apologized for that,
Badass.
who else needs to apologize for their superhero crimes?
Oh man. Wow, the list goes on and on. You know, our buddy over there with the Transformers franchise has a lot to atone for.
That seems right.
Rather a lot.
So Michael Bay just has to apologize for his career.
he needs to stop.
Not even superheroes.
There's
just
another
everything.
There's another one of those movies.
I think it's the last one.
I hope so. It
I heard
has
that.
the last in the title.
Yeah,
So
but I mean,
let's
I also
hope.
thought Pirates of the Caribbean was done 2 or 3
That's
movies
a-
ago.
that's
Whatever they're on
that's
now.
a good point. There are a few superheroes who should apologize for a number of things.
Yeah.
Superman turned into a blue guy at one point,
Okay.
and that was fine. That was
Right.
fine. But prior to that, he had a mullet.
No mullet Superman.
The thing about Superman is it's hard to cut his hair. It is. It's physically hard to cut his hair.
So how do they do it?
I think Green Lantern has to do it.
Oh,
If I'm not mistaken.
he's
So,
a good barber.
well,
He does good work.
he does. He cuts his own hair too.
Maybe that should be what he does, because no one cares what he does with his superpowers.
I do.
No one cares. He's like Land Aquaman. No one cares. about
Land
them.
Aquaman. Wouldn't that just be like Mammal Boy or something?
That's just man.
Yeah, it's just regular man who can somehow. It's Beastmaster.
Yeah.
You ever seen
That's true.
Beastmaster?
No.
It's worth your time.
Nah, I doubt that very much.
Yeah. the Marvel people could apologize for taking my money for Guardians of the Galaxy 2, which was
Not good?
it was
I haven't seen it yet.
I just saw it. It did not touch. It had its moments. It didn't touch the first
You went in expecting it to be as good as the original, didn't you?
I expected it to be good. It
That's
wasn't.
your
as-
mistake.
Yeah, the first bit of it was real clumsy. I thought.
Yeah, probably.
The jokes did not land. It got better as it went.
Mm-hmm.
It got better, but a lot of the jokes didn't land. It's a lot of like you know how it was like it knew how pop culture-y it had been,
Yeah.
and it was like, yeah, that, more of that, more. Yeah, it wasn't.
People like this. Blah!
Let's throw Trash Panda in there. Stupid. Anyway,
Man, these are the longest quick hits we've ever had.
I'm giving you a novella for each one of these.
This week, the Golden State Warriors beat the Cleveland Cavaliers for an NBA championship.
I'm sorry, what?
The Golden State Warriors, what state is that?
New Jersey.
That is incorrect.
Oh.
And beat the Cleveland Cavaliers for an NBA championship. 1 to 10. How happy was I that LeBron James did not win?
Oh, 10.
That
10.
it's not even on the scale. It's like 25.
You hate success.
Oh, that guy.
You hate success.
I want him to fail at everything. Finally, just in case you were worried that I would go through the entire quick hits without mentioning Donald Trump,
Oh.
I'm not.
Yay!
Australian Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull was caught on record during the Australian Midwinter Ball. It's like our correspondence dinner. But typically they don't record it in Australia.
Huh.
This was like a secret video. A leak, maybe? Mainstream media at it again. He was caught on record making fun of Donald Trump.
Fantastic.
These are the things he said.
Awesome.
The Donald and I, we are winning and winning in the polls. We are winning so much. We are winning like we have never won before. We are winning in the polls. We are. Not the fake polls. Not the fake polls. They're the ones we're not winning in. We're winning in the real polls. You know the online polls? They're so easy to win. I know that. Did you know that? I kind of know that. They're so easy to win. I have this Russian guy. Believe me, it's true. It's true.
Fantastic.
So
Malcolm.
obviously making fun of Trump.
Way to go.
And so while it seems insulting,
Okay.
here's the question. Was Trump more insulted or more thrilled to tell people that a world leader was talking about him?
It's the second one. It's the
That's,
second one.
that's probably my guess.
It doesn't matter what he said. You know, if he could just win over Merkel, you know, I think he'd be so happy.
That's not going to happen.
It's never gonna happen. She's
The one person who liked him was what's her butt in England, and
Theresa May.
Yeah, and
she's not doing so
that's
good.
not happening anymore.
Things are not going well. Her and Marine Le Pen, who did not.
So
It's tough out there
they're winning. They're winning so hard
in the polls.
in all the polls.
Don't worry, I got a guy. His name starts with Kiss.
The thing I'd like to know is, did Malcolm Turnbull have a writer present him this idea? Because, like, the presidents at the correspondence dinner, they're not writing these jokes. Obama had some really good jokes. He's not a joke writer. So, did he have a writer present him with that idea? Or did Malcolm Turnbull just go, you know what I think I'm going to do?
Having met more than a few Australians in my life, he just went for it.
You know that crazy guy? I'm just going to do that. I don't even need a writer this year. I'm just going to repeat things he said. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Fantastic. He had himself a Vegemite sandwich, an extra Foster's. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you know this, but
That was his breakfast.
yeah,
He had a 3 Foster's breakfast.
that's right.
Which is
That's right. That's right.
that's a hearty Australian breakfast. Typical, it's a 2 Foster breakfast.
I wonder if they've ever once drank that in Australia.
Probably not.
I doubt it.
Well, when Tanae went to I think it was in Ireland. And she was in a taxi and asked the taxi driver what a good drink to get is. And he told her Budweiser.
That's exactly what I've heard about Ireland. That no one drinks Guinness over there except for old men.
Mm-hmm. They all want Budweiser.
I guess I'm an old man.
So, there you go. That's your fun fact of the day. PSA, if you're going to murder someone, don't use car keys.
It's not effective.
And fact of the day, Irish people all love Budweiser.
Sushi jackknife.
Sushi jackknife.
Send him off with a little...